All of us in Raleigh need to come together. We need to support those in our community who have suffered a terrible loss. Yes, we have much to do, and we're working on it. May God bless all the victims, and may God bless our city. Now we will hear from Governor Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Secretary Buffalo. Thank you to the District Attorney and everybody who is working on this tragic situation. Today, as law enforcement and prosecutors continue their important work, we're left to make sense of this infuriating and tragic act of gun violence. I woke up this morning in the capital city where I and my family live with a deep sadness for this community and for our entire state. I want again, as I did last night, thank the swift, coordinated, and courageous law enforcement response. We provided significant state resources to help with this. It was a complex mission in a short amount of time to stop the shooter, and they succeeded. I'm grateful for them every day. You know, North Carolinians want to know that safety is a priority. They want to know that law enforcement will work together at a local, state, and federal level to fight crime, particularly in dangerous moments. That's what I expect as governor, and that's what we saw yesterday. We'll continue to provide support from the state and are willing to do anything that you need us to do. We also must support these victims and their families. The depth of their pain is unimaginable. I saw the faces of Raleigh police officers last night, and their pain was evident. And I know that that's happening all over the city. We're standing with you in this moment of unspeakable agony. Today we're sad, we're angry, and we want to know the answers to all the questions. Those questions will be answered, some today and more over time. But I think we all know the core truth. No neighborhood, no parent, no child, no grandparent, no one should feel this fear in their communities. No one. As policymakers, we cannot and we will not turn away from what has happened here. We must be resolved to make changes and to succeed. I want to thank you again to the first responders. May God be with the survivors, the victims, and our entire community after this awful tragedy.
Thank you, Governor, Mayor, and all who are standing with me today. It is with overwhelming sadness that I address you today. My heart is heavy because we don't have answers as to why this tragedy occurred. But what I can tell you is that the Raleigh Police Department and the Raleigh community is resilient, and we stand strong, and we will heal, and we will be stronger as a result of what has occurred. As you know, 5 individuals lost their lives, including an off-duty Raleigh Police Department officer. 2 others were injured, including a Raleigh police officer who has been treated and released from the hospital. The other injured victim is 59-year-old Marcel Gardner, who is still in critical condition. A 15-year-old white male suspect was taken into custody and is in critical condition. We mourn and share the loss of not only our officer, but all the victims of this senseless gun crime. Gun violence prevention and violent crime reduction has been a priority for me. The deceased have been identified as Nicole Connors, 52 years old, Susan Carnitz, 49, Mary Marshall, 35, Raleigh Police Officer Gabriel Torres, 29 years old, and a 16-year-old white male. To the Raleigh community, we are grateful for your immediate 911 calls and continuous updates and your patience as we continue to conduct this investigation. We also want to salute the valiant efforts of a broad coalition of public safety partners who assisted in our investigation yesterday. I'm extremely proud of the brave and selfless acts of our Raleigh Police Department officers, joined by our Knightdale Police, Wake County Sheriff's Office, State Capitol Police, the North Carolina State Highway Patrol, the State Bureau of Investigation, our federal partners to include the FBI, ATF, ALE, U.S. Marshals, State Wildlife Resources, and so many more who were just instrumental in the successful apprehension of the suspect. It was a team effort, and everybody came up together. We want to thank our local partners as well, the Raleigh Fire Department, Emergency Communications Center, the Wake County EMS, and Raleigh Parks for their response as well. In addition, we proactively evacuated 2 community centers yesterday, Marsh Creek and Buffalo Aquatics, as well as locked down 16 staff and students at Beaver Creek Elementary School. What I want to leave you with, while we are grieving, Raleigh remains a resilient community, and we will get through this together. Please keep the families and loved ones of our victims in your hearts and in your prayers. For the Raleigh Police Department, please keep our officers covered and uplifted. And we also want to keep in prayer the family of the suspect of this tragedy. This investigation is ongoing, and if you have additional information, if anyone has any information concerning it, please notify our Crime Stoppers line at 919-996-1193. We will continue to update you as the investigation continues. At this time, I will take any questions that you may have.
It's the 16-year-old who you just said was 4 years old. Are they related to the suspect?
We're unable to share that information at this time, but as soon as we have that, we will get that to you. Yes. So the crime scene was pretty expansive, over 2 miles. We had that section sectioned off, and we're asking that the public stay away from that as we continue the investigation. Once we received the 911 call yesterday, and we're so thankful to the community for that and for the continual updates that we received, our officers immediately responded, as well as our other partners. Once we arrived, we did find that there were 2 victims, and throughout the investigation, we ended up with 5 victims who were deceased, and then our 2 who were injured.
Chief, can you please explain the circumstances as to how this all played out?
This is a situation that we prepare for, that our officers are well trained to respond to, and they immediately went into action once we got the call and we started to get more information on what was occurring. I'm so thankful for the quick response, and I'm so thankful that we were able to apprehend the suspect and get him into custody very quickly. As you see, as yesterday we gave you an update and we provided information. It was a long standoff, long situation, but the resolution of it has been successful, and I'm very thankful for that.
Are we going to be getting a narrative soon on how this all played out?
Yes, we will. So as is protocol with the City of Raleigh, we will produce a 5-day report that will be coming with all the facts and information that we're able to provide.
Is there any information as to why Officer Torres was there? I mean, was it just happenstance, or, as being an officer, did he hear the gunshots and maybe go to the scene? Any color you can give there would be appreciated.
So again, this is ongoing. Our investigation is ongoing, but what I can say that Officer Torres was on his way to work.
Chief, obviously you're in a position of leadership, but
This is an extremely, extremely painful event for our officers, for me, for this entire community. Upon receiving the information, I was immediately updated by my staff. I was coming from a law enforcement conference where we were talking about gun violence, talking about making our community safer. I was immediately taken aback, shocked by what occurred, but again, we are resilient, we have been training, and we're prepared to handle these situations. I cannot express how proud I am of our officers and our law enforcement partners. The response was overwhelming, and it was just extraordinary. We are still working through those. We do have the suspect in custody as stated, and we are working through that.
Do the suspect have any previous record? And do we have a gun that's already been recovered? And how did he get the gun?
That is part of the investigation that is ongoing.
Did the suspect live in that neighborhood, and particularly the Henningham neighborhood?
We are still working through that.
Is the motive known?
We do not know at this time. Again, I just want to say that, this investigation is ongoing. We know how that goes and how that plays out. Once we have more information, we'll be happy to share it with you, but at this time we cannot. I'm sorry. We don't have that information at this time. We will get that to you. The shootings occurred in the streets, in the neighborhood, and then the suspect fled towards the Greenway, and then we had some more victims who were shot in the Greenway.
That was the last question. Thank you. We appreciate your time. I've got him for you right here. Okay. So we will update you with information as we get it, but we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you, Chief Patterson.
Thank you so much. We ask that you continue to keep the Raleigh Police Department and this community in your prayers. Thank you.